Mm, looks like it. All right. What's poppin', yo? Dear Diary. What the fuck? I fell down a rabbit hole today. And it was a short one, research wise, but it's still going. In terms of internal reflection, you know that quote by James Baldwin? Well, a lot of people don't know it's from James Baldwin because the modern day version of it says to be woke and black is to be in a constant state of rage. Then it got dumbed down to be woke in America is to be in a constant state of rage. But James Baldwin's original quote that was derived from was to be a Negro in America. And what was it, barely conscious or relatively conscious? I think relatively conscious. To be a Negro in America and be relatively conscious is to be in a rage almost all the time. If you don't know who James Baldwin is, please look him up. Black history. I felt like I knew the quote intrinsically. I felt like I knew what it meant. But I think today, like an hour ago, I'm only realizing that there are more levels to that phrase than I gave it credit for. Because, as y'all know, my mother's a therapist, psychological therapist. Raised me while getting her PhD, which is why I'm calling myself this unlicensed therapist, because I was basically raised in a psychology class. I can pinpoint at what point in my childhood, what part of the foundation of psychology my mother was learning based on how it changed the way she was raising us. My formative years were her basic introduction years, when she started to realize how her own mind and how it processed information was affecting the way she was raising her kids. And I inherited a lot of that phase of her in unprocessed rage, because in her journey of her psychological classes, she learned how to process her rage, but did not learn how to teach us to do the same. So she gave us the rage that she had, but without the blueprint of how to manage it. It manifested in us in different ways. Me, myself, my brother, and my sister. My brother got the vice part of how to deal with it through vices. My sister got the expressive part of how to deal with it outwardly. And I got the internal part, which was dealing with it inside. These are all methodologies that my mother used to deal with hers, but she was taught how, and we weren't. And in my own case, I now realize that internalizing rage only mitigates the problem. It only encompasses it. It only puts boundaries around it so that it can't escape you. But that means you can't escape it either. And that's what I've been learning over the past somewhere around like 7-8 years. A lot of the time that I've been in New Orleans is I've been learning that I have an extraordinary amount of repressed rage. And as I have these blue moon sessions with my mother, and I see this common path of consistent anger, I'm always telling her, like, I'm always angry. And I don't always have reasons to be. In my own opinion, I barely have a reason at all, to be honest. Because I know how much worse shit could be. Hell, I know how much worse shit has been. And that's why I can't enjoy these small successes and these small joys, because I'm so fixated on how bad things have been that I feel like until how good things are can transcend how bad they've been, I won't feel complete. I won't feel like I'm not failing. I won't feel like I'm successful. Unfortunately for me, that is a very, very high bar, because my lows have been hell's basement. And by my own logic, if I am to transcend my own rage, that means that I will have to get my life to a point of heaven's attic, and I don't see that happening. Not in the representation of my life itself. It can happen in me, of course, internally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that. It can happen, but in my life, represented to the world, no, doubt it. And to a common mind, that might mean that you have to then accept the rage as just a part of life. That I don't believe. Even though this rage is still in me, even though I'm conscious of it and how little control I have over it, I still don't believe it is an unfixable issue. I think it comes down to what I believe. I believe my anger is justified. I believe my rage is justified. And that's the problem. I think that's what James Baldwin was referring to in that quote. Was that when a black person becomes aware of how systematically oppositioned they are in this country, they feel justified in a rageful reaction because it is the natural one. But I no longer feel natural comfort and natural traditions, because the country I live in, the society I'm a part of, the economy I participate in doesn't respect it. It doesn't respect the natural. It doesn't prop up or support the natural. It supports the belief, any belief, and that's a problem, because anybody can believe anything. It doesn't make it right. I believe my rage is right, but the effect it has on my life is so wrong. There are no good results from this rage. And there are so many different natural situations that are wrong now, because we are not living in a natural world no more. Not in this country. So now I am this Negro that is barely conscious and in a rage. And part of the rabbit hole I went down earlier was looking at the difference between anger and rage, which is a very important distinction. Anger is a root emotion. Rage is a form of anger. And the only identifiable difference between them is control. Anger can be controlled, honed, directed, managed, utilized, alchemized, transmuted. Anger can be a tool. Rage is an almost always uncontrollable state. It's an impulse. It's a reaction. It is not thought out. It is logically devoid by definition. It's the dumb version of anger. So imagine that. The quote basically says that when a black man finds out about the truth of his role in this country, he'll lose control of himself. And that has manifested itself in so many different ways at this point. It is irrefutable. We are lost. As black men, we have lost ourselves. Coupled with the loss of brotherhood and camaraderie, there's no way back for us. Not in this state. Brotherhood was used as a gauge of accountability absent any outside influence other than being a man. So absent money, absent women, absent status, brotherhood was about man's accountability of self, because no woman could hold a man accountable. We lost that. And the few of us that still have remnants of it understand the importance of it and the void that left. Without us keeping each other in check, we have become susceptible to the influences of the world around us. And the world around black men in America hates them. So now that hatred becomes internalized with no outlet. And what do you get? Hateful niggas. Everybody hates something now. Every black man has something to hate now. And that's how this rage is manifested. That's how James Baldwin's rage has manifested. The Negro in this country that is relatively conscious is still in a state of rage, but now the rage is not violent or angry. It's internalized. These niggas are ruining themselves. The whole Hawaiian movement came from that rage. The internal bleeding that fractured the core of Black Lives Matter, not the political version of it, but the actual societal version of it that we held dear, that fractured internally because of that rage. That rage is only allowed to exist now through the absence of brotherhood, because that was how we kept it in check. Yes, my nigga, you are angry, but your rage is nothing compared to the collective rage of all of us. And that is what we used as guiding tools for each other. Women can't do that to us, bro. Only we can do that to each other. And without that, we have become exactly what the system intended for us to be. Bombs in our own community. Can't wait to go off about something or somebody. And that was not our role, bro. The last time that rage was directed in this country was the Black Panther Party movement. And these niggas did everything but form their own government. That's what directed anger can be used to do. But rage can't do that. So as I find myself in this constant state of rage, and it surfaces and rears its head whenever my emotions do, I can't help but stop now and isolate, because I don't know what to do with it. I can't control it. I can only put it in a box only I can get in, so that only I can be hurt by it. That isolates me. It pushes people away. And in my mind, all of that is justified, because you don't want to touch this fucking rage, right? I don't want to touch this shit, and I live with it. The only time I don't feel it is when I'm asleep. But it's not expressed in the ways that they would have you believe rage is expressed. It's not expressed through anger. It's expressed through everything. Through the way that I talk, through the way that I communicate, through the way that I express myself, the way I make decisions, the way that I move, my facial expressions, my body language. It is now permeating. I can see it. I won't say it's now, because it's been there. I can just now see and recognize it for what it is. It is an unchecked rage that has infected my entire emotional state. And the only way I've learned to manage it is isolation. What that does is that it affects me and no one else, so that when I go back around other people, they are unaware or confused as to why I feel the way I feel, or I seem the way I seem. Like, that's why, are you okay, is something I get asked a lot now. As soon as a nigga see me. That didn't used to happen a lot. It was obvious I was okay, dude. Smiling, dancing, joyful in expression. Now it's what's wrong. I didn't even say nothing, bro. I don't have to. You don't either, money. I can see that same rage on most all of us now. and the ways that it manifested itself. Not just in men. I was raised by a black woman, so I know what that looks like. And that's a rare ability afforded to black men that were raised by single mothers that doesn't get talked about enough. You are more empathetic to the female emotional state, to the woman's emotional state, than you're aware of. And if you were ever able to learn how to recognize that, my nigga, you would have so many less problems with the women in your life because the understanding would supersede the emotion. That's what it's like to be a man. When this shit supersedes everything else, you are a real man. Because real men, the only thing defining a real man from any other type is control, bro. Self-control. Doesn't matter the man's status, money, none of that. Stoicism is viewed as a palpable level of control. That means that you can see self-control in a nigga's appearance. It don't matter what he's wearing. That is unattainable to someone full of rage, which means that as a black man in America, my nigga, you cannot be completely at peace. Why? We lost brotherhood. It was systematically destroyed, buried, and then its opposition was encouraged, which is the embodiment or the playful view or the acting out of being a man or masculinity, not the actual experience of it. It's almost like these men in government trying to make decisions over women's bodies. I saw a fucking clip of RFK Jr. today talking about breast milk. Creepiest shit I've seen all week. Why are men making decisions politically and medically for women's bodies? That core question can't be answered logically. It's the same principle, bro. They wanted control over the power that we have, and they couldn't get it by force because we were too forceful. So they found a way to direct that natural force inward into us. We are fighting ourselves for them. That's why we keep losing. And I'm just talking about men. I'm not even labeling this racially right now. Men in general are being taught to internalize their battles, thusly weakening them, making them susceptible and easier to manipulate and control as a whole. It's being done to white men, and you can see it specifically through the Charlie Kirk facade. They have used that man as a martyr lightning rod for white anger, for white men. Subsequently tried to use it for black men. That was the direction of the hatred towards the HBCUs shortly after he got shot. Like, this is the level of awareness I'm talking about. I can see these particular issues being weaponized against us to cause internal conflicts, to weaken us, not to embolden or strengthen us. And the more I see that don't nobody else see it, the angrier I get. I get so angry I can't even help no more. I can't bring these men together because I'm so angry at what is dividing them. What the fuck am I doing, bro? Not what a man's supposed to be. This shit enrages me from the moment that I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. That I see every problem connected to the solution. Oh shit. My bad. I forgot to turn off the fucking I forgot to turn off the fucking sound effects. Appreciate the follow though. Why didn't it tell me who followed? Hold up, let me go to my events. Appreciate the follow, man. But that's what I see. I see the problem for what it is. Not only the problem though, I see the solution. That's the part that pisses me off the most. The solution be so simple. It be so fucking easy. Men, hold men accountable. Easy. You know why it's easy? Because we do it naturally. If you put 10 niggas in a room together and just tell them to talk about what's bothering them, before you get to the 5th nigga, everybody's problem is going to be solved. Everybody will have the answer to their issue already. Because we all have the same problems, bro. We just manifest them differently. We all have the same rage I'm talking about right now. James Baldwin's rage. We all got it. But it has shown its head in all of us differently. In me, isolation. In my homie, I ain't gonna name these homies, but in one of the homies, violence. Mental, physical, and everything in between. In another of the homies, sadness. Shut in. But like internalized sadness. Like his views are now sad. He is a sad nigga now. He never used to be that. And we're talking about, this is one of the homies who has been in some of the most desolate situations comparable to mine that I know. The weight is now too much for us because we're all trying to hold it alone. That shit gotta stop, dog. Niggas need niggas. Men need men. This is not racial, bro. There are key differences in the genders because there are key differences in the ways that we operate. Men have to hold men accountable. Period. It's impossible for a woman to do it. So his girl is not going to put him in check. His mother is not going to put him in check. His sister is not going to put him in check, bro. No matter how much he loves them or respects them or reveres them, when it comes to that moment where it's time to force a nigga to sit down and listen, nobody can do that but you. But me. So now niggas got to get unhung from the rage. James Baldwin's rage has to be processed now. We have to figure out a way to not accept the weapons that have been formed against us, but to acknowledge them properly, bro. Without that acknowledgement, we're getting our fucking asses whooped by any and every movement that seeks to vilify or demonize a man in any way, shape, or form. We are getting fucking cooked because we're alone. I don't care how much of a man you are, my nigga. You cannot defend yourself alone. So what I'm going to start doing, just as a small first step for me personally to affect niggas around me, is I'm going to start hosting some type of male-focused event. I'm a DJ, so I can easily throw a party. I threw this concept at one of the homies, like, bro, how would you feel if I threw just like a bros bash, like just a party just for the bros, just us. You can imagine what the response to that was. Like the initial response when you tell a nigga, yo, bro, I want to do something for just us. That's kind of gay. What? That type of shit, bro, that internal programming that we done been subject to for decades is now just rearing its head. Nigga, we can't link up and vibe. We can't link up, drink, smoke, listen to music and jokes and tell stories without it being gay, without it being an attack on your manhood, my nigga. How the fuck did we get here? It gotta be hoes for there to be bros, nigga. What the I'm sorry. Ooh, shit. Lost my little stoic edge there. Bro, chill out, bro. If you can't link up with the homies, my nigga, absent any other influence, no women, no drugs, no purpose other than male camaraderie, my nigga, then you are in the lost and need to be found, bro. You need to be around more niggas, bro. More men. I keep saying niggas, I'm sorry, but that's just how I talk. This is niggas is just men, period. You need to be around more of your own, bro. Because the lack of that in your presence, the lack of male camaraderie in your individual presence is why you are vulnerable. You look like you're alone. You sound like you're alone. That makes you vulnerable. That makes you prey, dog. And this country is a jungle. I don't care how much they want to paint it as some civilized wonderland, my nigga. It is kill or be killed, eat or be eaten. And y'all niggas keep separating yourselves from the pride, feeling like it's the right thing to do, it's the right way to go. Who the fuck told you to go by your feelings? Who the fuck told you to lead with how you feel? No, bruh. That's not what men do. We don't lead with our emotions. We lead with everything honed to a point. It's why we are phallic in nature. We take all of us, amalgamate everything in you. Emotions, spirituality, principles, beliefs, all of that shit gets honed to a point. And that point is what you lead with as a man. You can pick any man from history that has led and has been recognized for leading, and that will be demonstrated throughout their entire historical context. Nobody just feels something and says, okay, this is the right way to go. I'm going to take all of us there. We don't do that, dog. That's the blind leading the blind. We are logical. We are formulative. We think. We plan. We execute. The only time that feelings need to be present in the way that you make decision is if it's in your instinct. Instinct are a feeling. As a man, yours have been honed generation through generation, man. You're relying on them for the wrong reasons. Your instinct as a man should not become a toxic trait of yours. And that's where the phrase toxic masculinity comes from. Get out that shit, dog. Get around some more men. Get around some niggas who will let you know when you dead ass wrong. Get around some niggas that'll let you know you dead ass right. Get around some niggas who will support the core of you so that the rest of you can gravitate and not just spiderweb. We are lost, bro. Only we can find each other. But until niggas come together for niggas, we're just gonna be enemies. All of us. Opposition. Ops. We're all ops to each other, bro. Fuck that. ICE is in New Orleans. I'm not trying to be so angry that I can't step out there and help. Racists run the government. I don't want to get in such a state of rage that I can't protect somebody from these problems that I see, even if they can't see them themselves. I don't want to get so full of rage that I can't be a man no more. That's where I'm at. So I hope you niggas don't want to be like me. And if you don't, bro, get around the homies. Stop trying to do this shit by yourself. You're gonna die. We're all gonna die. But you can't live like that, dog. You can die that way real easy.